Y'all, welcome to your girl channel, Chillinwithlanda. If this y'all first time here, honey, welcome. Everything over here helps. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, of course, that's going to help me grow. Leave a comment down below. All engagement is welcome. Hit your notification bell because your girl be all over the place, honey. And I am just, first of all, before I get that statement out, if you already a part of my crew, y'all know what time it is. It's time for another story time. We're going to talk about some people, laugh about some people, reminisce a little bit. And yeah, it's all entertainment. But y'all, I am stressed. I am stressed. I had hair wash day yesterday, y'all. And look, y'all can see my little gray hairs. Look, you can see my right there. Your girl is getting old. I turned 32 on the 17th, y'all. And when I say I am thankful, and I thank God for making it to see this far, but time is flying. Life is really short. It's like I was just 18. Where did the time go? Before you know it, I'm gonna start getting a little strange down now. You feel what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and get this third time, y'all. Let's go ahead. So y'all, a couple of y'all left some comments about leaving story times about my childhood, my teenage years, because I had a little rough childhood sometimes. I made things hard on myself. I was rebellious sometimes, but sometimes I was just a little too nice and people business, and I got my ass rocked for it. You feel me? I got hit. I got beat up. Almost beat up. You feel me? I'm a little bit beat up. I don't know if you want to call it beat up, but I was in a fight and I almost got beat up. Anyway, child, let's go ahead. So this was my middle school years, y'all. I was like 13, 14 years old. I was going to Brownsville Middle School, right around the corner from the projects I always tell story times about, right? And in these projects, everybody knew each other. We all went to school together. We all went to the same elementary school or same middle school. Eventually, we all went to that same high school. But we're in the middle school days right now. And in these apartments, a lot of us went to Brownsville. So a lot of us would walk to school together, be in school together, walk home together. We're going to name this girl. She stayed in the next building from me upstairs. She was a little older. Her name is Tisha, right? And she's actually the baby mama of a popular rapper down here in Miami, Tisha. But it's her. She went to my school and she had her little clique. Now, she had about 3 or 4 girls with her in her little clique, but very relevant. We're just going to name one of the main ones that I did not like. We're going to name her Michelle. Now, Michelle was, I won't say a big girl. She was not like fat. She was more like a stocky girl. She more looked like she did the shot put game, you know? She was very much her. You know, very much had a little, you probably would think she had a little Adam's apple a little bit, you know. She had a little deep voice, you know. She wore like baggy shorts. She was giving it a little dykish, you know. She was giving very much strong woman, you know. So I was a little scared of Michelle. So that's Tisha and her little crew. Now Tisha, like I said, I was like 13, 14. Tisha probably was 14, 15. Tisha had a baby very early, y'all. She got pregnant when she was 14, had a little son from the rapper that's famous now. And everybody in apartments will talk about Tisha. The grown women, like the old people, of course, y'all know how people is talking about the girl. She's 14, 15 years old. You talking about her. Oh, she's young, she's hot, she's a HOE, and her parents don't care about her. Everybody's just talking about Tisha. And me, I never talked about it because what am I to say? I'm not the one pregnant. She's not affecting my life in any way. And I never was a person to partake in like bullying. I never liked bullying. So me and Tisha really didn't have a problem. Like, we would all walk to school. It was no problem. We would be in school. It was no problem. We would walk home from school every day. It was never really an issue because I stayed in my lane and I mind my business, y'all. Now, mind you, sometimes Tisha and her crew would get into it with the other kids in middle school. Like, they was like the mean girl squad. Like, I had my little people I hung out with, but like, everybody in the school just knew Tisha, just knew Michelle, just knew the crew because they would always pick fights with other people, be in drama, girl, everybody in Brownsville just knew of Tisha, Michelle, and their little crew because they would always cause problems amongst other kids. And it was, like I said, they didn't really bother me. I didn't bother them. They was out of my way until, so in the middle of the school year, I'm going to name my friend Did I use this name? Sweetie. I don't, if I used this name before, I'm sorry, y'all, but we're going to name my little friend Sweetie. She was my age, very sweet girl, very short, light skin. She had long natural hair. You could tell her parents kept up with her. She'd wear like nice clothes. Always would have her hair done, like every week, every 2 weeks, she would have her hair done. She was very, very quiet. She had many of my classes, so naturally, we gravitated towards each other and we became real good friends. Me and Sweetie, she was a real cool girl. And like a lot of my friends in my school, we all stayed in the same projects or the same neighborhood. So we would start like hanging out during school, and me and Sweetie would like walk home from school. And it was a good thing. It was a good deal. It was a good deal. We hung out a lot. We chilled a lot, and it wasn't nothing really like happening. Now, these two brothers, they came a few months after Sweetie enrolled in the school, maybe a month or so. They were terrible. They were bad. They had got a second chance from an alternative school, and they was able to come back to the regular middle school. Hayward and Haywood, right? So crazy. They was not twins, but they was like a year apart. I don't know what their mom was thinking. Anyway, but they was in the school, and they was kind of handsome, especially Haywood. So all the girls had a crush on them, like all of them. Y'all know how it is when new people come to school, especially handsome boys. All the girls and guys like the new people, and you know everybody gain their little crush. Everybody have their little dibs on them or whatnot. So one day we're in lunch. Now, mind you, I told you I had my little crew, and Sweetie, I enrolled her in the crew that I was in. So we're in lunch one day, and we're chilling, and we banging on the desk. And we're, you know, knocking on the desk, we beatboxing, we're having a good time, and we over there freestyling. And Sweetie is just throwing her little freestyle out there, and Hayward walked up behind her, and he was like, "Dang, you can rap." So she got quiet, and so Hayward was like, "You can rap a little bit." She was like, "I can do a little something, a little something." So she, So we just vibing, we vibing. The whole time we vibing at the table, I can see Tisha and Michelle in the line trying to get their food, but they was like kind of staring at our table. Now, I told y'all Michelle was like a stalky big girl, right? So I can't hear what they saying, but I could kind of read lips, and Michelle was over there like, "Hey, what over there talking to them?" That's how it seemed like she was. So I'm looking at Sweetie, and I'm just looking, I'm paying attention. I'm like, "Sweetie, I think they over there talking about us because Haywood over here talking to you, girl." So she was like, "Oh, I don't care about that." Now, mind y'all, Sweetie is very, very sweet. I think I probably used this name in another story time for somebody, but she is very, very sweet, very kind, very nice. She is not on that. So she was just like, "He's just my friend. I'm not going to really worry about anything. Like, he's my friend." I could still see Tisha and Michelle in line just eyeing us down. And I ain't gonna cap, y'all. I was a little afraid of Michelle. Michelle was a big girl. She was a bully, y'all. I done seen her beat up and drag so many girls into school before. I didn't want no smoke. I didn't want no pressure. I'm just being honest. So we still, you know, every day we walking home from school. Now, it's the middle school. You got to walk through a set of apartments, and then you walk through a field, and then you get to our apartments, right? It's like maybe a 5-minute walk from the school to get to our home. We still all walking home every day after school. I'm walking with my crew, Tisha walking with her crew. Hayward is back and forth between crews, just playing with us, you know, which caused confusion because one day we're all walking home, and he would be with Tisha and her crew, but then he would like branch off of them and then catch up with us and be flirting with Sweetie in front of Tisha. And I'm just like, what is going on? He's just flipping these girls, and they just allowing him, right? So everything was still normal. Like Tisha and her crew, like I said, we was all cool. We had no issues. So y'all, we had a Valentine's dance. I remember this dance. I was so cute. I had on my red and black. Me and my little friends, we dressed alike, like in the color scheme. We was cute. We had a little Valentine's dance after school one night, and it was all good. Long story short, y'all, we end up dancing, vibing, and Haywood comes behind Sweetie. And y'all, back in the days, that's when the dudes used to be grinding, you know, throw that leg up in the air and be grinding on girls and stuff. Y'all remember that era? It was that era. So he gets behind Sweetie, and she started a little dancing on him and stuff. So I'm watching because who didn't like a little grind show? Come on. So I'm watching. They switch positions, like, you know, he in front of her now, and then he pushed her on the wall, and he doing all that little grinding stuff how the boys used to do. So it's like a crowd around them now, y'all, and everybody is just like, oh, like, y'all know how middle schoolers are. In the distance I can see Michelle just staring at Haywood. I can see Tisha. You know what I'm saying? In the distance, I can see all of this. So they didn't never say anything though. So I'm just like, oh goodness, it's gonna be some crap. I'm just thinking in my head, cause she look a little jealous. Michelle over there looking a little mad. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. So they finished dancing. I tell Sweetie, I'm like, Sweetie girl, Tisha was over there east of us, like looking at us. I don't know what the us got to do with it, but they was over there east of us. You feel what I'm saying? She was like, again, y'all, Sweetie is very, very sweet. She's just like, it's okay, it's okay. I'm not gonna worry about those girls or whatever. Time is going on, y'all, and it's just, now it's like some few weeks later. So now we're walking home from school one day, and this is when things started to, like, they started to bother Sweetie a little bit. So like I told y'all, Sweetie used to have her hair done all the time. Like, I don't know if her mom was a hairstylist, y'all. I don't know if her mama just had money to get Sweetie hair done every week or every 2 weeks. I don't know if Sweetie had like an older sister who was doing her hair every week or 2 weeks. But when I tell you the girl was done, her crown was snatched every week or two, and the girls just couldn't take. The girls just couldn't take. I have a message. Women, even men, if you have teenage daughters or even boys, teach your children to love their self. This is just a little quick message because I experienced it. I know what I'm talking about. Teach your children to love themselves. Teach them that they can create their own lane, especially your young girls, to not be envious and be jealous, looking at other girls wishing, hey, oh, she thinks she better than everybody because her hair done or she wears certain clothes. Teach your girl that they will have their time in life to shine. Teach them that they can create their own lane. You do not have to look like every other girl in school. Teach them that jealousy is a hating ass trait. Hating don't look good on you. Don't be no hating ass little girl. Teach your children to not be haters. They used to hate my friend Sweetie because Sweetie used to have her plaits, her braids, y'all. We was not in a wig era back in 2007, 2006, and 8. We was not in a wig era. We was with our quick weaves and our wet and wave ponytails, honey. We was in that era. But Miss Sweetie used to have her hair done all the time. And the girls just could not take. The girls just could not take. They used to they started, every time we walking home, they started talking about she was nappy headed and bald headed, which I understand why. Her hair was done all the time. Like I told y'all, Sweetie was like a slim girl. They used to call her skinny. They said she looked like she had AIDS and like what? So the girls are starting to get very jealous of Sweetie because they noticed that Haywood had a little interest in her, But that's just important. I'm gonna get back to that point because that's really important, like to teach our children that envy is a ugly trait. To not be jealous of other children in school because of their hair is done and he have his haircut. It's like teach your children to create their own lane, and you do not have to look like everybody else because envy is ugly. So things just started to get a little bad. So one day we walking home, like I said, they used to hate on the girl hair. Y'all, tell me why we walking and Michelle comes up and pulls Sweetie hair like she had some long plaits. So we're walking and I just seen Sweetie go like this. I'm talking about yank Sweetie out her skin. So I stop out and Michelle, like I said, she she running back to Tisha and them. I'm like, what the fuck? So now I'm like, okay, seeing things, easting us, looking at us is one thing, but now y'all actually ran up on Sweetie and pulled the girl hair. You trying to destroy her crown? You trying to destroy something you guys are jealous of? Pull her hair out? So I'm standing there. I'm like, Sweetie, she just pulled your hair. Sweetie was so sweet. She was so nice. She was just like, oh, it's okay. It didn't even hurt. My God, so embarrassing. So embarrassing, Sweetie. She just was like, it don't even hurt. It's okay. Well, y'all, what can I do? This not my battle. So, you know, time goes on and time goes on. And every time we were like walking home from school, like I said, Haywood would go from between cliques as we were walking home. He would be hanging with Tisha and Michelle, and then he would ride his bike and come up there with me, Sweetie, and my other little friends. It was very confusing for the girls because Tisha thought he liked, but then Sweetie liked it. Y'all get it? Blah, 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 blah. We always would have PE. We had this Booker T. We had a PE coach named Booker T, y'all. And just like every other school I had, the PE teacher was the teacher that let you skip. I don't know what it is about these PE teachers, but I know what it is about these PE teachers. Y'all should watch my other story time. I'm gonna link that down below. They be touching on girls and they be looking at these little teachers. Anyways, but he was cool. Booker T was cool, right? After the coach that got fired, well, not him. We had another PE coach. Feel me? Booker T used to let us skip, right? So we used to be in there skipping, and you know, one day Haywood was in there and I was in there with Sweetie. Everybody was supposed to be out on the court, you know, stretching out, getting ready to play little activities or whatever. But Sweetie was like, I'm finna stay behind in here with Haywood, you know, just keep a little hoo-hoo out for me because I'm finna, you know, him in the locker room. So I was like, okay, girl, I'll stay by the door or whatever. I'll stay by the door. They in there maybe 10 minutes, right? People going in and out, but I could see them going in and out, not to the area that Sweetie and Haywood was. So I'm like, okay, cool. So like a few minutes pass by, I see walking up to the door, right? So I'm like, I didn't say nothing to her because I don't want to seem suspicious or whatever. So she walked past me and she like, yo, what's up? So I'm like, hey, what's up? She walked past me. She had keys in her hand. Apparently, Coach Booker T told her to go in his office and get some stuff. That's what Sweetie and Haywood was, y'all. So I see the keys dangling. So I started talking to her. I'm like, hey, what's up? Where you going, girl? What's up? I'm going in the office to get some papers for Booker T. So I was like, oh, well, I just was in there. I ain't seen nothing on the dresser or whatever. She was like, he want me to go get him out the drawer. So I was like, dang, let me go get him, you know, because my book bag and stuff, and I don't really want you. She was like, nah, I'm finna go get it. So I was like, ooh. So she goes in there, y'all. She goes in there. Now, mind you, I let her go inside the office because Sweetie and Haywood was in his office, but inside his office was a bathroom. So I thought that they were in the bathroom. I didn't want to seem so suspicious. So when Michelle went inside of the office, y'all, she seen Sweetie and Haywood in there. She didn't say nothing though. I know she saw them because she walked out and she was looking at me funny or whatever, you know, or whatever. She went back out and we went on by our PE day or whatever. The whole PE day, they was easing us, like they was looking us up and down. I don't know why it was us. I was just guilty by association, I guess, because I was real close to Sweetie. I don't know why it was always a us thing. I had nothing to do with nothing, but you know, Yolanda always there, and I'm always caught in the damn crossfire. So they was staring at us the entire class, and you know, PE was like one of those classes. We had like one more class of the day after PE, so it was almost like the ending of the day. So while me and Sweetie, now mind you, I told y'all me and Sweetie had a lot of classes together, including that last class. So, you know, we do our PE class. We, you know, go down in the locker room, wipe off a little bit. We change out our clothes, put back on our uniforms, and we go to our last class of the day. So we're in our last class of the day, and now mind you, we had them little phones, them little Nokia phones. Y'all know the little old phones, the little Metros or whatever. We all had a phone. So I'm getting a text message from another friend that's in our crew, and she's like, Londo, y'all supposed to be fighting? What? So she was like, y'all supposed to be fighting? I was like, who supposed to be fighting? She was like, girl, I just had the third lunch. Now, in middle school, we had first, second, and third lunches. So she was like, I was in third lunch, and everybody was talking about how Tisha supposed to be beating up Sweetie after school, and they supposed to be jumping y'all. And I was like, what? When did this happen? We just seen them in PE. They didn't say anything. They just watched. So she was like, yeah, everybody in the school talking about it. They supposed to be meeting y'all in front of the school, and y'all. So I'm looking at Sweetie. I'm like, Sweetie, did Michelle and anybody say anything to you? She was like, nah. I was like, because my friend, Quisha, whoever, I'm like, Quisha is like saying that they supposed to be jumping us out of school. So Sweetie is just like, they supposed to be jumping us. I'm like, yeah. She was like, well, I'm not scared. That's my girl. That's my girl. But wait a minute. We, Yolanda ain't got nothing to do with this. So I'm like, we in class and we just talking about it. People in the class, you know, word spread around the school fast. So now people in the class talking about, oh, y'all supposed to be fighting out the school. Y'all supposed to be fighting out the school. We gonna meet everybody in front of the school or whatever. And the whole time, I'm like, we? Who is we? And I can't lie, I was scared. You damn right. You know why? I was scared of Michelle. Michelle was a big girl. I'm not talking about fat, y'all. I'm not talking about fat. I'm talking about Michelle was big. She was like, we were in middle school. She was like freaking 5'9", 200-some pounds solid. I'm talking about she was big. She was her. So I was scared. I was like, I don't want Michelle to hit me or whatever. So I'm in class, y'all. I'm shaking in my tempers. My boots is shaking. I am scared. But I ain't letting none of these kids know that I'm scared. I'm playing cool. I'm in class. I'm like, them hoes gonna jump us. They ain't gonna touch us. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do our dollar. Them hoes ain't gonna touch us. I'm in class talking big shit, right? So but I'm scared. But I'm like, so Sweetie is just calm. Be like Sweetie. Be like Sweetie. So Sweetie is calm. She was like, nah, they ain't gonna touch me. They ain't gonna do nothing. Like, I'm not gonna fight over this boy. You know, I'm not gonna fight over him or whatever. And my job the whole time, Haywood is nowhere to be found. Why when stuff go down, the person that people fighting over is never seen? Where are you? Where is your antennas when we got threatened to get jumped, Haywood? Huh? Where were you? Y'all, it's almost time for school to end. And I had to go to the bathroom. So I raised my hand. Yeah, Londa. Can I go to the bathroom? Yeah, Londa. Get my hall pass. I go to the bathroom. Now, mind you, Brownsville is like an outside school, meaning when you walk outside the classroom, it's like a courtyard in the middle. It's not an inside school. It's like trees and everything in the middle. You can see. So I go to the bathroom. I'm walking out the bathroom, and who I see down the hallway? I see Michelle, y'all. She looking at me, and I'm looking at her. And I'm just like, is she gonna run towards me and jump on me, pull my hair out? Because they some bald head little hoes. They so jealous of our hair. They just, is she gonna jump on me? Is she gonna run up on me and punch me in my face? Y'all, I am scared. I am shivering in me timbers. So I'm looking at her. She looking at me. And she's like staring in my soul. Now, usually I stare at people back, but I just couldn't. She was staring in my soul. And then she was like with some girls. I remember she was like with some girls. Not Tisha, but she was with some other girls. And she was like mumbling. You know how you know people talking about you and stuff like that. So girl, I had hurried on back to the classroom. Because if I get dead, I need people to witness. Did you feel me? So I hurry up and go back to the classroom. And I was like, yeah. I told Sweetie, I'm like, yeah, girl, some stuff gonna go down today. And me and you and the crew, we just have to be ready. So y'all, we got it at 3:40. It's 3:30. Y'all know how that feeling is. Well, you probably don't know if you've never been there. 3:30 is hitting and my heart is racing. I almost called my auntie to come pick me up from school. I ain't lying. I was scared as hell. So, because people kept talking about it. I ain't never, now mind you, if y'all follow me, I have told a story time about my, you might as well call it my second fight. I called it my first fight, but you could call it my second fight. Was in high school. Yeah, when I fought a Spanish girl. But this was truly my first fight, right? I was scared though, y'all, because I never had been in a fight before. Probably in elementary, but it wasn't that serious. You know, I never had been in a tussle, a dussel before. You know, I ain't never been there like that. So I was scared. And everybody was talking about it. Everybody in school, people was passing by the classrooms, talking about, oh, y'all finna get jumped. Y'all better be ready. 3:35 coming, y'all. My heart blip, 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 blip. Be like Sweetie, though. Be like Sweetie. Sweetie was like, I ain't scared of none of them hoes. I ain't scared of none of them hoes. So I was like, okay, Sweetie, I'm going to be like Sweetie. I ain't scared either. You know what I'm saying? But I don't even know why I'm in the fight. Who is we? So here we go, y'all. So now, you know, we all packing our book bags. And y'all know how it is when the end of the day is getting ready to wrap up. So we put our stuff in our book bags. And I'm scared. I'm this close to shedding a tear. So I put on my book bag and me and Sweetie, because like I said, half of us walk home together. We all stay in the projects. And so yeah, I put on my book bag. Me and Sweetie is walking out to school. Now mind you, this little crowd of people is following me and Sweetie, because what word on in the schoolyard is we're finna get jumped. So over this boy Haywood, and Haywood is nowhere to be found. Okay, 3:40 ring. The bell ring, y'all. Action, right? So Everything was quiet. A few people was following me and Sweetie outside of the school. Um, we're walking. Now, mind you, I told y'all, it's the school. You have to pass through some apartments, a field, then to our apartment building, right? So me and Sweetie walking with our little crew. It's me, Sweetie, and it was like 3 of our other little friends that stayed in our building walking with us. So it's like 5 of us, right? So we're just walking, We make it past the school, we make it past the apartments, and now we're to the field. So I'm looking behind us, and I don't see anybody. I just see the other kids that's in the school that's want to spectate, that just want to be there and be nosy. Out of nowhere, I see Tisha, I see Michelle, and I'm like, oh shit, it's about to go down. I could see them in the back of us walking, right? And with them is Michelle, Tisha, they other little friends, half of the school, and we're just walking. So me and Sweetie Beach like, fuck it, we already done made it to the field, girl. We by our building. Let's get to our building so we can get our cousins, and we know we need more people. Cause it was like a clan of them, y'all. It was so many of them. It was mostly just school kids, but 5 of us compared to it was like 17 of them. We was trying to make it to the project to get our people. You feel me? So we walking. Tisha, Michelle, and them getting closer to us. I can hear Michelle talking to me, y'all. She had something against me. She always used to call me mixed breed. She used to call me mixed breed. Oh, you mixed. I ain't mixed, girl. I'm just a little light skinned. I's a nigga. It's nothing mixed about me. Ain't my fault you bald headed. Ain't my fault. Ain't my fault. You got project legs and you got bumps all over your legs, girl. Ain't my fault that you ain't cute. Sorry. Anyway, she used to call me mixed breed, y'all. So I can hear Big Michelle, mixed breed, that hoe, mixed breed. Tisha talking to Sweetie, calling her bald headed. I don't know why they kept calling Sweetie bald headed. She was that girl. You feel me? So we still walking because in our mind we like, let's go to the project to get our people. So we still walking. Our crew, we still walking. Y'all, tell me why I feel something on the back of my ankle. I look down, I see a little rock. So I'm like, okay, you know how you walk, you kick rocks up. I'm like, okay. So I'm still walking. Boop, something hit in the middle of my back. So I look back, y'all. Michelle is throwing rocks at us. They throwing rocks at us. I'm talking about big rocks. They throwing rocks at us. So the kids that was in, they cried. Everybody like, oh, y'all hitting them. So now I'm getting a little mad. Like, y'all, like, I was scared, but now I'm getting a little serious because, like, who you trying? So now I'm getting a little, I'm getting a little stern a little bit. So Sweetie is like, nah, don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. We keep pushing because we so close to the project so we can get our people, right? So we still walking. And somebody threw, I don't know who it was, somebody threw a big rock and it hit Sweetie right in the middle of like her back area, like her neck back area. Anyway, it sounded off and it hurt her really, really bad. Like it hurt her really bad. When it hit her in the back of her neck, she was like, like it looked like she was bleeding a little bit. Like it kind of took her down for like 30 seconds. Like she was rubbing it, like it hurt. Like I had to pull her shirt down or whatever. And the whole time I'm like checking out her little, where the rock hit her at. Everybody, that's the crowd, Tisha, Michelle, the kids, everybody was just instigating, amping it up. Like, oh, y'all some hoes, y'all soft. Ooh, y'all soft, right? So this is when I knew that I can snap. Like, you know how somebody, they mind could just flip? This is when I knew that I can snap. When Sweetie was like rubbing her neck and she was like, ow, like looking like she was about to cry, y'all, something came over me. I took my shoes off. I don't know why I took my shoes off. Child, I took my shoes off in the middle of the sidewalk. I just flipped. So I started taking my shoes off because I was like, I'm finna beat these hoes' ass. I took my shoes off, Sweetie looking at me. I don't know, something flipped in her brain. It's like, follow the leader. So she started taking her shoes off. So when she took her shoes off, the crowd was like, oh. Now, mind you, right in the middle of that field was some other apartments, y'all. And Tisha mama and stuff, them, like, they family was, like, out there or whatever. I don't know how they just got there. But anyway, her mama, ghetto as hell, was like, y'all better not hit my baby. Something flipped in me. So while I'm like down trying to take off my shoes and shit, right? Y'all, I'm looking at Sweetie, me and her like, yo, we gotta do this. We gotta fight these girls. They ain't finna keep punking us like this, y'all. I turned around and I got my shit sobbed. I turned around, and Michelle said, boom, right in my shit. She hit me right in my face, y'all, and I got the gushing. My nose got the gushing, y'all. I didn't know what hit me. The crowd was just like, oh, oh. I could hear Tisha mom was like, that what she get. Beat her. How you a mom, but you so ghetto? That's why your daughter was pregnant at 14, but that ain't my business. So I ain't gonna lie, I started leaking, y'all. She knocked me in my shit. Michelle got me good, y'all. That's why I was scared of her. So while I'm just like, I'm like, what, she caught me off guard. And I'm like, just wiping my little blood off or whatever. I could hear everything going on around me. Sweetie was the one fired off on her. So while I'm standing up, like wiping my nose from the blood, Sweetie hit Michelle, little old Sweetie. And then y'all know when that happened, it's go time. I got hit, got my shit rocked, right? So now Sweetie is like, oh, hell nah. Like I say, something flipped in us. So she hit Michelle, and we out there tussling, y'all. When I say, when Sweetie hit Michelle, I got the boop, 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 boop. I had never been in a fight in my life. I didn't even know what I was hitting, how I was hitting. Y'all, I was grabbing skin. I was pulling hair. I was kicking. I could hear her mama across the field telling my son, get off my daughter. Get off my daughter. Get off my daughter. The kids, everybody around us, amping it on. We fighting. Now, mind you, I told y'all we was right there by our apartment to get our people. I guess it was so much commotion. My auntie and them and my little cousins came out. Sweetie people, I'm talking about y'all, the most ghettoest thing ever. Y'all, I look so sweet, but I've been through some stuff. And like, that's why I try to be a good person and be a sweet woman. But child, you make me mad, I'll rock your shit too, just like Michelle rocked my shit. You feel me? I done been through some stuff, and this was my first altercation ever. Now, I have a big cousin who don't play that. My cousin T, she be knocking people out left and right all her life. So when I told y'all my auntie and my cousins, they all started running to the field. We was trying to make it to the project so we can get our people, right? So they all come running out to the field. My people, Sweetie people, all our people start running to the field. Y'all, it was a brawl. It was a brawl because when my cousin T came and jumped in the fight, I'm talking about my cousin T was knocking them, bam, 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 knocking them left and right, y'all. And when T jumped in, now T is a grown woman. Tisha mama, who was like, get off my daughter, she come over and she started trying to get in a fight. Y'all, this is a whole Project Brown Sub, all out brawl in the middle of the day. We're fighting. We're out there fighting. And I'm out there defending my friend. I got my shit rocked, first of all. But I'm out there defending Sweetie because they keep bullying her. And now we out here got to fight these girls. They trying to jump us. It's a whole out brawl out there. My nose is bleeding, all kind of stuff. My people out there fighting. It was crazy. It took for a homeless man in that field it used to be like men out there, hanging under the tree, smoking, drinking. It took for a homeless man to come over there. I don't know, me, Michelle, we was interlocked. I had her hair, she had my hair. Her toes was interlocked. Our pinky toes was stuck together. Y'all, we was stuck together like two dogs who had done finished. You feel me? We was stuck. I wasn't gonna get up off of her. She had me bleeding out there in front of everybody. Hell no, I was not gonna get off Michelle. It took that homeless man and God himself to peel me up off of Michelle. You understand? So it took the homeless man come over there, beer in hand, and he's like in the middle of us. Now by this time, we all exhausted pretty much. The homeless man come between me and Michelle, and he's like, y'all stop. Y'all some young ladies, y'all shouldn't be out here fighting like this. And the only reason I let her go, she let me go, is because we were tired. We were out there scrapping, y'all. Never forget that damn fight. Never forget that fight. Now with Sweetie and Tisha, now the issue was with Sweetie and Tisha. Sweetie hit Michelle first, but when everything started popping off, it was a whole brawl, a whole jump. They really jumped us, you feel me? Eventually, Sweetie got her one-on-one with Tisha because that was really the issue. Tisha was jealous of Sweetie over Haywood, y'all, a boy. Everything happened over a boy. I just had to tell that story time, man. My first fight ever, got my nose knocked loose, man. For real. But I held my own. They weren't gonna keep bullying us, man. I had to fight for my friend. I wasn't gonna let her be out there fighting by herself. One fight, we all fight. And that's the thing about growing up in the projects, man. It just make you tough. I've been through some stuff. I be trying to be lady like y'all, but I really be vibing out. I be thug life. Y'all know them memes and them videos, how they be like the girls be in the car, boom, 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 smoking weed. That be me. Listening to my Jeezy and my Gucci man. Yes, ma'am. So I be trying to be lady like, you feel me? Because those days are behind me, all of that stuff. And I probably only got like 2 fights in my life, but I don't have some other stuff, crazy stuff happen to me. I really do appreciate y'all sticking with me and listening to my story time. And y'all really want to know what popped that fight off. I forgot to tell y'all. Remember how I told you Tisha got pregnant when she was 14 and everybody in school and around the apartments used to talk about her? Sweetie had called her a school mom. Yep. She called her a school mom, and that's what really ticked all them off. And we all got to fighting out there. Child, if y'all enjoyed my story time, make sure y'all leave y'all comment down below. Of course, y'all please like my video, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, because your girl be all over the place. I truly appreciate all of y'all. And yeah, I probably don't quote me on this, y'all, but if y'all watching this today, Saturday, I'm probably gonna go live tonight or tomorrow. Don't quote me on that. Don't come check me for that. If I don't keep my word on that, I'm gonna really try to do that for y'all. I love y'all. Until next time, peace.